Start with number 5.
I like it.
All right.
Matthew Stafford is still number 5 in my list, and if not still number 5, there was an argument to make Stafford even higher after what he did in some of these playoff games down the stretch. Stafford still got the cannon. I asked our producers and the great Rich Goldberg to dig up some of the longest completions through the air, not yards after catch, that all of these quarterbacks have had. And you see some of Stafford's stuff, and the receivers have been so different over the years. It's not Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams every time. Stafford's been throwing to so many different players since Calvin left Detroit and then since he got to LA. And the one constant is that the guy still has a cannon. And maybe the most impressive thing is not even the long passes. It's the ones that he has to whip in there across the middle, like a no-look pass to Cooper Kupp in the Super Bowl to move the chains and keep their dreams alive. Matthew Stafford might be one of the oldest quarterbacks in the league, but he still has one of the best arms. I will not disrespect him and move him out of this top 5 for one of the young guns. He is number 5. Number 4 is a guy who's never been to the playoffs. We've never seen him win a big game, and he's really never done anything in the month of January or February. And yet, when he's on the field, his arm sizzles. I'm going with now third-year quarterback Justin Herbert as number 4.
Okay, I like
Herbert
that.
did things last year. He did things last year, Mike, that I'm watching these highlights against the Giants. Look at this. This ball has room to go. The receiver has to catch up to it. He's going that, he throws it so deep.
Yep.
This is across his body against Buffalo in that COVID season. Unbelievable stuff that he does week to week to week. And he does it with a huge cannon. These are deep bombs, and he leads the receivers. So you're talking about guys who are going in stride and are not coming back to get the ball. This one here against the Eagles, or who's that against Seattle? Then this one was the Eagles game. Across the body on a dime to Mike Williams. Just an incredible arm, only getting better, strengthening up as he goes. Justin Herbert, if you're having a quarterback competition, he might have the strongest when it comes to velocity as it goes to. But number 3, I'm talking about someone who's done it for years and is only getting better and better and did it last year at an amazing rate. Aaron Rodgers is still number 3 on my list. Aaron Rodgers is still number 3. Look, we're showing highlights right now. Look who's catching these passes. I was like, give me his deepest passes, his deepest ones. He's getting rushed by Cliff Averill in that highlight. This is how long he's been doing it. And he's got away, finds Donald Driver in that clip. Think about it, he could do it that way. Of course, we've had so many Hail Marys. We'll show this one here, which was an amazing one on a Thursday night. Rodgers with the perfect arc, the perfect touch, the perfect torque, and yet the sheer velocity. This was Tanyan's first big game on a Thursday night. This pass, I requested it, is just the thing of beauty that Rodgers can still do. Then you go into last year, another MVP season, still just letting it rip with great velocity. And, Devontae Adams is no longer there. Doesn't mean that Rodgers can't hit the deep one and can't hit his receivers on the run. This was to Jordy Nelson that just broke the Bears' heart. When you see Aaron Rodgers, they're beautiful. Now, Mike, I hear you saying Super Bowl. He hasn't gotten there since 2010. That ain't the conversation. You want to talk about the top 5 quarterbacks who won Super Bowls? It isn't Aaron Rodgers right now. We're talking about strongest arms, and I will still, to this day, take Rodgers in my top 3. All right, number 2 is tough for me because I think everyone at home knows it's going to be one of 2 guys, and I've always been on the side of one of them.
Yeah.
The number 2 strongest arm in the NFL right now is Patrick Mahomes. Yeah.
Good job,
2.
Peter.
And I could see Mahomes using this
Still love you,
fuel
brother.
to his fire. I could see him still using this as motivation, but I think someone has surpassed him in the last 12 months since I did this list last. We can see the footage. Look, you can't go wrong with Mahomes. And Tyreek or not, he's still going to be able to throw these balls, and he's still going to be able to do them on the run, and he's still going to be able to throw them 60 yards on a dot or 80 yards as he did in a preseason game to Tyreek a couple of years back through the air. Love Mahomes' arm, love Mahomes' game. I think I'm more fascinated in Mahomes' 2022 than any of his seasons now that he doesn't have his number 1 weapon in the deep game. Yet we know he can still deliver it. We know he still will. That guy's no longer there, but Patrick still is. And the number 1 strongest arm in the NFL, according to me, is that guy up in Western New York, Mr. Josh Allen. Let's just see the tape. Let's just go to it. Guys, I think he got better last year, and I think he's going to be better next year, and his arm seems to be getting stronger and stronger. Look at that thing! This guy just has a different type of cannon. This was against Denver on a Saturday in cold weather and just on a dime to Diggs. Some of the most beautiful Josh Allen passes we've seen are at night in cold weather. And that only aids him when we go to Buffalo in these late winter months. This one here almost looked like it came out sidearm, like just on a dime to Diggs. Sorry right there, Sorensen. I know you're no longer there, but this one was against the Raiders. Just precision, but strength. And when Allen throws that ball, whereas Mahomes, you can almost feel it whistle like a Nerf ball, Allen, it feels like it's coming out of an actual cannon. It's just like poof, poof, poof. It's incredible. These are my top 5 strongest arms in the NFL. There are some names that were not mentioned. It pains me to not go Mahomes number 1, but I went Allen.
All right,
Michael
we'll get into
Robinson,
that,
I see you above me dancing, but I'm starting with Kyle Brandt. Because, Kyle, you might have some thoughts too. Kyle, what do you think? That's my top 5. Controversial list, I know.
I'll tell you what I got, Peter. I have an encyclopedic memory of every word that you have ever spoken on this show. That's my advantage. And here's the thing that happens. Peter, something like Rolling Stone magazine will publish their list of top 100 guitarists, and it's Hendrix. And then 12 years later, they're like, screw it, let's do another one. Let's make Stevie Ray Vaughan number 1. The loyal readers remember the hypocrisy. Peter, I remember around 2019 where you blew everybody's hair back and said, I'm telling you, this guy, Kyler Murray, might already have the strongest arm in the league right now. Kyler Murray, Peter, I just saw on your list a 38-year-old, a 33-year-old. Are you telling me that if Kyler stepped up with a chalked-up football, he couldn't throw it further than those guys?
Before Kyler ever threw a pass, I put him on this list. I did, and it caused a lot of great commotion amongst NFL people saying, I don't know about that. I think Kyler has great twitch. I think he's got great velocity. I don't know if Kyler has the strongest arm in the league. I'm not sure if I could put him in the top 5. Now that we have 3 years of a resume, I don't know if I could put him in the same conversation as those guys as far as pure arm strength.
He has to crow hop.
Now, with that being said, I want to jump in there, Kyle, because DeAndre Hopkins was asked who had the strongest arm that he's ever played with, and he said Kyler Murray. He's also third in the league and completion percentage of 20-plus yards. So I think he's got a lot of stuff that he's got to figure out. But I'm sort of with you, Kyle. I think Kyler Murray could figure this thing out. And he was so favorably compared to Patrick Mahomes back in 2019 during the draft. I just think all these distractions have gotten in the way. And I also think small guy, they don't really think he's got a big arm, but, you know.
Go ahead, Mike.
Am I in the twilight zone here? Are we really talking about Kyler Murray with one of the strong? Are we really trying to put him in this
we said he has
elite
the
list with the potential? He crow hops when he throws a deep ball. What the hell are we talking about, guys? What? Josh Allen can throw it further than Kyler Murray, looking in a whole totally different direction and with his off foot pointed forward. Come on, man. First of all, Peter, great job, brother. Great job. Yes, Josh Allen has the strongest arm in the National Football League with Patrick Mahomes coming at number 2. But I do think I have to say there is a difference between arm talent and arm strength. Now, when I look at guys like Aaron Rodgers, I look at Matthew Stafford, those guys, tremendous arm talents. They also have arm strength too, but I would also throw a Dak Prescott in there. I think if we just had a competition of just throwing the ball as far as we possibly can, I think Dak Prescott would end up on this list as well. But to look at your list, I have no qualms with it. But guys, let's stop it here. I know I'm the only former pro football player on this panel right now. We need to stop with the Kyler Murray being in the top arm strength. He may have some arm talent. You talking arm strength, the guy that has to crow hop to throw the ball downfield? Come on, man. DeAndre Hopkins was only saying that because that's his quarterback. That's how he gets his money. He got to say that. Come on, guys. Don't put him in that conversation.
I'm going to give you 2 more names. I'm going to give you 2 more names that were coming up because I honestly do. Look, I can't get a hold of these head coaches in the thick of the season, but now they're just sitting on their couches like we are, and this is like great bar fodder. So a bunch of guys were engaged in this. One name that came up And I'm curious your thoughts, guys. I'll give you both, but I'm going to give you the veteran guy first. Tom Brady's name came up. That Tom Brady can still throw it as far and as hard as any of these other players. Curious what you think. And then my second one is a guy who we didn't see it last year, but we've seen it in a pro day workout. We've seen it in the college game, and we haven't seen it yet. Zach Wilson from the Jets, just pure arm strength.
Stop.
Guy who can throw it
Stop.
70, 80 yards. Stop. Let's see. Let's give pure arm strength. We're not saying who's the best quarterback, Mike.
Stop. Arm talent, I give you that. I think Zach Wilson has a tremendous amount of arm talent. You know what I mean? Across his body, all those types of things, arm strength. I wouldn't put him in the top 8. No.